Hi.
Hi, everyone. It's our second day.
So our second
When
Zoom
was the
date,
last time?
we met up
It
like
was
around,
May.
yeah, we met at May, like end of May, May 26th, I think. It's been a while. Um, but we thought we could start again.
Each other again in July. Yeah, it was for our anniversary. We saw each other for a little bit for the shirts we're
Yeah, oh
wearing.
yeah. We saw each other because we took pictures and stuff. So we got
Yeah,
to
I
see
was
each
gonna say
other.
because I didn't see you. It's been a while though, 2 months. So
Yeah. It's hard. It's hard to do that right now. Like you're not allowed to see anybody. So
I know it's still the same thing. But we hope everyone's having a good. What day is today? Thursday. With what's going on still.
I hope that
With
like we
everything
get
going
to a
on.
meeting and it's like, oh, things are better. But it's gonna take
Things
a
are
bit.
kind of back to not back to normal, but better.
Yeah, there's more things open for sure. And but now it's like the new normal. I go anywhere I go, like it's just it doesn't even like faze me that I'm wearing a mask. Like it's just a normal thing now.
Yeah, I think for me everything's pretty much the same since March. I haven't really done much. But I am going back to work. Like I'm back at work. So at least that helps me with my routine because I need to have a routine. So having that like routine in the morning, having to, wake up early, drive. As much as I used to hate it, it's helpful now because I don't have anything else going on. So it's nice to have that schedule. Um, was me. I was at home like the whole time, and it was starting to get to me. So that's kind of like a good change, I guess.
Yeah, and I mean for me it hasn't changed. The whole working from home. I kind of got used to it. But even with everything, I still managed to get sick. So, um,
Yeah, so sad.
yeah, yeah. So, I was with a relative who got sick, and she didn't know she wasn't sick at the time when I saw her. I hadn't even seen her for a while. So I got sick, and it was horrible because I had to literally not only quarantine in my house, but quarantine in my own room. So I had my husband like go to the couch and then we were like separated. I couldn't go do anything. So it was bad. I think I didn't get really sick. I didn't have like any big symptoms. I just was like more irritated, like cold symptoms, mild cold symptoms, headache, runny nose, like congestion. And but it sucks because it's like you want to be like taken care of, you want family there, you want people to be like, oh, here you are, or what have you. And I had to be separated and I was completely isolated. I think I was losing my mind in my little room because there's only so much TV I can watch. I took 2 days off from work and after that I'm like, "Ah, that's it, I can't I'll just work, it's fine, like I don't
How
care."
long were you? How long were you in quarantine? Like, how long did you have to be in the room?
I did 2 weeks. I did 2 weeks. Yeah, so I didn't even leave the house, and I think maybe like 2 days I did walk like my puppy outside, but it was just hard because like so I know that I have it, so I put the mask on and I'm walking and I'm being careful not to touch anything, and then like someone will like come close to me and I'm just like stay back, like don't like like distance, and it's hard. Like I think
Mhm.
people. I mean, you would think that more people would be like trying to keep distance right now, but they don't really know who has
I
it.
think
I don't think it's a big deal.
I think a lot of people are just over it.
Yeah,
Like they're just so tired. Like
they are.
I
And then
think I think that
yeah, and
yeah, I think they're just kind of like, what, at this point, if I get sick, I get sick, which sucks because like I'm still trying to avoid getting sick. Luckily I haven't gotten sick, so I'm still being careful. But I think a lot of people are just kind of over it because
yeah, especially like
there's only so much you can do.
Yeah, especially if you're young, you're gonna be like, I can just deal with it. I'm fine. But I was just conscious. I'm like, I don't want to get anybody sick. Like, I don't want to have that responsibility. So I didn't
Yeah.
really. So after that, I was like, oh, I can't do this, and I had like so much anxiety just going outside, and people like they don't wear masks because, and even then, like I think before, like when I would go outside, I don't like wearing a mask because I like because I'm usually far away from people. But once I got sick, I was like had the mask on at all times, and then you see people without it, so it's like
Mhm.
okay, like I can only do so much to. So I just ended up just staying in my
Yeah.
little room and being isolated, and I was going crazy. Like I don't know, I think, and it's so crazy because I love the scenario of just being home in my room and not doing anything, but I couldn't do it. I needed like attention and I needed people, and it was just it was way too much, and I didn't realize it. I guess it just when it becomes like
And also because it had several months since you had been like at home, you know?
yeah,
So it's not like happened at the beginning when you're like, okay, this is a nice break, I'm just home. Like you already were home for all that time. And so now you were really like stuck there.
yeah, I was stuck in the room. It's like the four walls get so that's why I understand like people who are like in isolation. It's like it's a lot. And yeah, and then I had all this TV on, like trashy TV, and I was like, okay, I can't no more. Um, but
Right.
yeah, I think I watched everything
Do
on
you think
Netflix.
a lot do you think a lot of it was just like you freaking out though, like having that anxiety? Because I know like that's kind of why I really want to avoid getting sick because I know that like mentally I'm gonna be just like freaking out. Like I'm gonna be thinking everything's a symptom and I'm gonna wanna like just be on alert the whole time because that's just how my brain works. Like I panic for any little thing.
Yeah, so I got really upset when I found out because my husband has other symptoms and he's more like high risk. So I got really scared for him, and I didn't want to get him sick. So I think I just broke down because you think the worst. You think you're gonna get your other person sick and they're like gonna end up in the hospital. I wasn't even thinking about myself going to the hospital. I'm thinking like I'm gonna get him sick. He's gonna have to go to the hospital and I can't deal with that. And it's just draining and emotional. So it's every day being careful not to like, you know, I don't know. Like I honestly I was like he's gonna get it. Like there's nothing I can do. Not that I didn't try
Yeah.
everything. I literally tried everything, but and he didn't. He didn't get it. So I'm really lucky. It does work. Like you just have to if you have your own room and restroom, just isolate yourself. And I think that's what you told me, right? Like, because I asked you, I was like, I didn't know what to do, and you told me just separate rooms. And I'm lucky. Like I have we live in an apartment, and I mean, I have my own restroom and like room, and he just had to sleep on the couch, and he hated it. He's like, every day I would ask him how he was doing, and he's like, my back hurts from sleeping in the couch. So, but
I mean, it was temporary. So
mhm.
luckily, it was just those 2 weeks. So it's not like you're still dealing with it, you know? So
Yeah, and I
that's
didn't
a good thing.
yeah, and then I mean my symptoms started getting better and I haven't really felt any of those symptoms. They were very apparent, like very apparent symptoms of cold, like a weird cold. And it's not like nothing I've ever had before. I wouldn't say the worst sickness I've had because I've had a fever before, but it was really bad to the point like I just felt weak. I couldn't walk. Like I would walk and I just felt exhausted. And I think that's what the worst of it
That's
was.
what I've read. Oh, yeah, I think like I've read that it's like this like tiredness that you feel
Yeah,
that it's like unnecessary that you just so that's what I've read. I don't know if like that sounds like that's what you had, that kind
yeah.
of symptom.
Like, and I had little body aches, and I feel like basically, like, if something was like pressing down on me, I couldn't, like, I had no energy, like, completely, like, I was just, but I didn't complain. I've seen a lot of people at work. Something happened to like a family member, and I work in a big like corporate, so there's so many people, and it's like every week I hear about someone that passed, and it hurts like to hear that. So that's why I'm like I'm fine. I don't, and anybody that asks me, I'm like I'm fine. I'm like I'm not even concerned about how I'm doing. It's gonna pass. Thankfully, I'm
Yeah.
fine. But this is hard. I feel like for anybody that's going through it, or anybody that has a family member that um is going through it, like I'm here for. Like I don't even know how you handle it.
It's just, yeah, I think it's like the uncertainty too. Like, I think everybody's just kind of like, okay, if you get sick, like, there's a good chance that you'll be fine, but you just never really know. So it's like all that uncertainty as well that kind of gets you mentally as well.
Yeah, and then so I went to the doctor. I just did a physical recently, and I told my doctor that I am like dozing off medication because I was taking medication prior for depression, and I lately dozed off from it, so I'm not taking it anymore. And she told me, she's like, "Are you okay to not take it because it's really hard times right now, and this is like the highest like time when people have like really high anxiety, depression. It's very, very serious." So she was just worried about me, like, "Are you sure this is the right time for you to do that?" And I told her I was fine. I'm like, I still go to a doctor, so I get checked to make sure that my levels are okay, and I take that
Yeah.
the diagnostic test and everything. But it's just interesting to me her to like the worry, and it's true. It's like as the actual disease like of COVID is obviously hurting people, but the other aspect is people are suffering from and lots of anxiety. Either they have kids at home that they they have to manage them, manage work, manage their schools, manage like their own time, like being able to leave the house, like they yeah.
Issues. It's a lot of stress going around.
Yeah, and I'm not even a parent, and I can just acknowledge like it's just that stress. And then like and people who already have anxieties of getting sick or other people getting sick, just being like maybe because I know before I've had anxiety where I didn't like people around me, and I can just imagine now people who have that walking to Target or walking anywhere because you're not even supposed to be close to anyone at this point. So I don't know. I feel like it's hard. It's a really hard year for anyone like suffering from either just disease or mental health in general. It yeah.
Yeah, it's been rough. I feel like everybody that I've talked to, family members, friends, coworkers, even like people like customers on the phone, everybody's like it's just rough. No matter how you look at it, um, it's tough because you're at home all the time, or it's rough because you had to cancel plans that you probably had from like 2 years ago or a year ago. It's tough because even if you are in a place that might be considered safe to be out, a lot of places are still closed, or the extra like steps that you have to take to be careful, like wear a mask, wash your hands all the time. So it's just a lot of like things that we weren't used to, and now suddenly our lives have been disrupted. So I think everyone, one way or another, has experienced some level of anxiety.
Yeah.
I know for me, when I went back to work to the office, that first Monday that I drove in the morning, I was so anxious because it had been a while since I um, went from my commute from home to my job. So that morning I was like, oh my gosh, I don't want to be next to cars. I don't want anybody on the road. I just want to be by myself. And it wasn't because of COVID or anything. It was just that anxiety of like, crap, I'm driving again.
Hmm.
So, it got better as the days went by, but it's just stuff like that that you don't normally think about.
Yeah,
But
I don't drive that often. So like today I went to the grocery store and I still get anxious and I'm like I was so used to driving every day and I already had anxiety from it, and now like it happens like maybe once a month or like once every 2 weeks. And
yeah,
so it's I don't know. I and then the people who have lost their jobs, I just
yeah,
I don't
it's a
know.
lot. It's a lot to
And the
take in.
election coming up.
I know. It's just so much information. Like, for me personally, it got to the point, it's been like, I want to say like almost 4 weeks. So I'm almost at a month that I pretty much deactivated my Instagram. I'm not really on social media because it was just so much information that my brain couldn't process all of it. I felt like, okay, do I worry about the election? Do I worry about the information being, spread around about this candidate? Do I worry about the civil unrest going on? Do I worry about like the mental health crisis that's like going up because of everything happening? There was just so many things, or like celebrity deaths, or like people dying all over the world or the country. It was just so much that I'm like, I need a break. I can't
Yeah.
process all of this.
And it's like
So
watching the news every day, but it's like even like magnetized. And not to say that Diana doesn't care about like those issues. The problem is she cares too much, and you care way too much. And
I just think if you are a person that cares too much, like I consider myself a person that does care too much, or that's very like empathetic to a lot of things. You need to know when to kind of take a little break and take care of yourself so that you're able to continue and do whatever it is that you can do to help whatever the issue is. And so for me, I just felt like I was just in a negative headspace that I wasn't doing anything. I was just working
yeah.
up my brain.
It
So
helps. It helps to remove yourself from that, because then you can just clear your head and
yeah.
focus on things, and just focus on yourself, which is at the end of what we all really care about. It's we have to take care of ourselves. We come first.
Yeah, like I understand it's a privilege to be able to do that, because not everybody has that privilege of just being like, oh, I don't know what's going on. So like I know that's a privilege, but at the same time, I also know that I can't be of help to anyone if I don't take care of myself. So I've taken these few weeks to just kind of disconnect. I still know what's going on, but I needed to like kind of take a little break. Like, okay,
Yeah, and
I'm
you
just
do
gonna
it.
focus on healthy.
Yeah, and you do it fine, because I mean, you still vote, and you still like reach out, and whatever situation's actually going on, you still do things. People don't have to necessarily be on social media to take care of
Yeah,
other people and the world.
or
And,
like donate.
mhm, yeah, definitely. So,
Yeah,
and
so that's just a little bit to like sometimes it's okay to just be like, okay, I need to step back and then kind of align yourself again and then be like, okay, I feel better. What's going on?
it's one of those steps of getting better, especially social media, because it can really hurt you, and be,
Mhm.
especially right now with the news. If you need to like turn off your TV for maybe a week, it's gonna be okay. I'm sure someone will tell you what's going on. It's sometimes good to just
Or sometimes it's nice to just remember like there are good things going on, and
yeah.
I think that's the issue with social media, that since we want to be alert and knowledgeable what's going on, a lot of the things that we focus on is all negative. It's all the bad things, and I'm not saying that it's not really happening or that it's not true, because it's obviously happening, but it's also okay to step back and remember, okay, there are good things happening. There are good people, that are out there doing great things. And so once you kind of remember that, then it's easier to take on the bad news or the bad things going on. So social media rarely shows the good stuff. It's usually the bad things.
Yeah, I follow this Instagram account that shows only positive things, positive news, I think it's called. I can't remember. I
Cute
tried,
videos or like
yeah,
nice.
just like
I love those
people
videos.
being kind and doing good. And something we are focusing on, if you guys haven't seen already from our page, we are volunteering for the Out of the Darkness walk. It's a virtual
Yeah.
walk that's happening November 14th. So
Mhm.
I hope that you guys volunteer. If you can join our team, we'd love to have you. We're planning a walk, like a small walk between us. And I mean, there's still going to be a virtual walk where they'll show like everything that's going on. And it's for suicide awareness and for mental health. So it's very important. It's called Out of the Darkness Walk. So we hope that
Yeah,
you.
so So to kind of like elaborate a little bit, every year the walk is, well, there's different walks throughout the year, in Arizona and also like all over the country. And it's just like any walk. If you've been to like a cancer awareness walk, or like, I don't know, like a Alzheimer, there's walks for everything. It's similar to that. You go, you register, you fundraise, and you walk as a group. um, but this year, because of COVID, obviously they're avoiding large crowds, so this is the first year that they're doing a virtual walk, which means that instead of going to one specific place, sorry, my alarm went off. Instead of going to one specific place, you and your team can choose any location that you want, any time, any distance, and you're gonna walk as a group. And then I think they're gonna show like the stuff going on the app, right? Or like I forgot what the virtual aspect of it is, but
Yeah.
there's still gonna be other things happening today. But you won't be at the location. You'll be at whatever location you and your group picked, and wherever you're walking. So
So
it's a little bit different.
yeah, the team captains will have basically run their little walks, and like me and Diana are captains for our team for at the mental chat. So you can join us, or you can join and create your own team. Um, it's for a great cause, and they're doing it in a way that they're still wanting people to stay safe, but it's still very much the same as supporting. And I think they'll put videos out there showing stories to people, either family members who've lost someone, or people who like have gone through that experience. It's it's a very emotional and like very heartwarming. It's you get to hear from a lot of people. Since volunteering, we've been calling some people and asking if they're going to join, and I got to talk to, me and Diana both got to talk to like great people that have had experiences and either have a family member or then themselves are going with it, and just makes you feel more like you have someone to go to, and kind of what like we're doing, especially of people who have like lost someone through
Yeah.
suicide.
And I'm a little sad that the walk is not gonna be
Mm-hmm.
the normal walk, because I was excited to invite or to like walk with new people that've never done it. Like you and I have done 2 walks
Mm-hmm.
before, so we know what it's about. But I know last year friends told me, okay, I'm gonna attend this year, and it's just a very, like Faly said, it's a very emotional walk. I think those of us who have been to other walks, like I said, the cancer walk and all these other walks, they're also emotional, and they're also obviously very important. They all serve, a purpose. But I think the difference with this one is that a lot of the people that walk, if not the majority, are relatives or people who lost a loved one. And I think the perfect example of that is that most people who have survived a suicide attempt, or who have experienced that, like at least speaking from experience, you don't really talk about it. Like you don't think, oh, I'm gonna go to a walk and like show support because I attempted that. Like it's very hard to do that. Like for me, it took me almost 10 years to even talk about it. And so most of the people that go are family members who lost a loved one. So it's almost like a day of healing. Like the 2 walks that we've been through, or that we went to, it served like a day of just like healing. And even the environment is a little bit different. It's a little bit more quiet. It's a little bit more sad. And I think it's because everyone just kind of feels that pain, or you're trying to just be there and know that you're not alone without having to say anything.
Yeah,
And
there's
so I am a little sad that this year it won't be that way, but I really hope that next year it'll be back to normal. They also do a really good job at like showing, for example, even people in the military, like who
yeah.
have, died from suicide. I know like they also have like beads that you can wear, but depending on your reason of why you are at the walk, you will wear a bead, and so you know why that person is there. So there's a lot of like non-verbal communication that goes
Yeah.
on, but it's very like warm. And so
Yeah,
it's just
very.
a feeling. Yeah, it's a feeling that once you're there, you're like, okay, I get it. So it's very special, and I'm really sad that it's gonna be different this year, but at least it's still happening, so it's better than nothing.
Yeah, I was looking forward to it, and I think that it's fine. I mean, as long as they're still doing it. The
Mm-hmm.
beats were really cool. Yeah, it says if you're basically if you're a person that has experienced thoughts of suicide attempted, or if you know someone, or if you're a child, I think lost a child, military member. It's just all these things, and so you're gonna see people wearing the beads, and they
Yeah.
had they had a pause for suicide, I think, and they had little bandanas for dogs. I had one for my little puppy,
Mm-hmm.
and they're still giving those out if you donate. They have a lot of things, and I don't know. I don't know if anybody would, but I think this is important because it's even if you don't know anyone, there's so many people to deal with depression, anxiety, any mental health, and maybe it doesn't reach the suicidal thoughts, but they still experience that pain, and they're walking with that pain. I
Mm-hmm.
know me and Diana both have, and we're here, and this we're I really love this kind of walk because it's like I'm here, I get to walk. A lot of those people don't get to walk. And for me to do that
Yeah.
and say, no, I'm a survivor, I am doing this, and I want others to be able to walk and keep going. And I think more people should try to look into it and not shame it as much, because I think there's so much shame in mental health, and even just talking about like even having those thoughts of suicide is so shameful when it should be, I can't believe you had those thoughts. What can I do? How can we make it better so that nobody else has those thoughts? And I think that's the main goal, because just that, no, you're not supposed to talk about that. That's so shameful that you thought that way. Well, I didn't mean to. I didn't plan to. It came to me. I got that dark. It's not like I built it upon myself.
Yeah.
It's disease.
Yeah. And I think another thing, and we kind of like talked about it before, is I think it's also like a good example of how much people don't see suicide as a result of an illness, because like, and I'm not trying to like obviously be insensitive or this to come off the wrong way, but like let's say if I had survived an illness like cancer, or I don't know, I can't think of any like illness that's common in the country. I'm sure like a lot of my family members, a lot of my friends would be like, heck yes, we're gonna go support you because you're a survivor. Like you're a warrior, you survived this illness. But with suicide, it's kind of like, oh yeah, like you don't get that type of support. Like it's just different. And I know it has to do with stigma. It has to do with not really being informed of how that happens, or just not being informed with mental health. So I think anyone that can attend these types of walks, it helps because you're showing support, not just maybe someone who was affected by it or who experienced it, but you're showing support to a lot of the people, a lot of the families who still don't know what the heck happened and who are still grieving. And it's one of those deaths that I feel like you never really overcome because you feel like you could have done something. But it's just like an illness, and so I think that's why it's important to support anybody who has experienced that or who lost someone to suicide, because it's still an illness. It's just like any other disease that people go to walks for.
Yeah, I think I've read that people have the stigma that it's like, oh, well, they're attention seekers. They're trying to get attention from someone by
Positive.
committing like faking suicide.
Yeah.
And no, that's not the case. It's people who are still here and survived it.
Yeah.
And I think the people who did survive it seek the most support because they're still here and they're still struggling, and they may still be struggling. It can come back. I know I've had depression 3 times now in my lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
So it can come back. It's not something that you may always overcome. And the support of the family, and I think just even just if someone asks you, hey, come walk with me, um, just do it. Just do it. It means that that person wants you involved in their life, and they're still here, and you should be there for them.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're definitely gonna be posting more about the walk. It's a walk that's very, special to us. Like I said, I am, and I know you are too, kind of sad that it's gonna be different this year, but hopefully those who participate this year, you'll be more encouraged to register for next year's
Yeah.
walk and you'll get to experience what we talked about. It's definitely something that's very special. So, but yeah. So for now at least we'll do more of like a unique, personalized walk
Yeah.
on the 14th. We're
Yeah,
still
we
trying to.
might.
It'll still be fun, but it won't be as like, I don't know, emotional or personal.
I think we should do a video and record it if we get like family members to go and do it, and which is just recorded. We don't. I mean, the weather will be nice here in Phoenix. So I'm excited. We might just maybe can go hiking or something. We'll figure it out. And yeah,
We're gonna do something. It'll just be a little bit different.
yeah, it'll be different. We'll have masks on.
Yeah, we'll have masks on.
Yeah. But, um, so that's pretty much all we really wanted to discuss. We just wanted to go over just a little recap of us. Um, let you guys know we're still here.
Yes,
Uh,
we're still here. I know sometimes we go a little bit MIA, but we try to post just authentic stuff. We don't want to just post to post. Like, it's not about followers or likes. It's about just posting helpful information or little reminders. Or I know, Faly, you're doing really good at just posting how you're feeling that day, or what you're going through that day. So it's more to like, if someone's going through the same thing, hey, you're not alone type of post. So sometimes if we go MIA a few days, it's because there's just not much going on and we don't
yeah,
want to post it either. So
yeah. It's only as far as our brain will go. And yeah, we try to keep it. We try to keep it personal because that's that's our lives. That's our livelihood of what happened, of our struggles, and how we're dealing with it. And maybe we're feeling fine now, but we know that there's certain things like anxiety, driving, or just like whatever, like medication, whatever we're dealing with, either we have or we are dealing with it, which makes it more personal. And we want you guys to see that side of us and maybe relate and say, oh wow, like maybe I'm not the only one, and or this helped them, maybe it will help me, and whatever it may be. So that's why we try to keep it more personal instead of, oh, by the way, be positive. Smile. I don't know.
yeah. Yeah, but hey, we hope everybody's having, an okay week. I know it's rough, but hang in there, and we'll see if we make another video before the walk. Hopefully, but we'll see. We'll let you know.
Oh, and yes, and one more thing, because I just remembered. So we are wearing our shirts, and I don't know if you can see. Let me see.
Yeah.
So mine says release all thoughts. I can't even read. And then Diana says declutter your mind. Um, we we created these because it's just little phrases that help us, and it has a little brain. So I think what we're planning and doing is we want to do a giveaway. So look out for that, and we'll give out these nice, cute little shirts.
Very comfy.
Yeah, they're very comfy, and hopefully you like the stains. We also have some that say the elemental chat, but we like these because they say little things that might remind you to feel good about your brain and take care of your brain
Yes.
because it's important.
Good reminders.
So thank you guys for chatting with us. We appreciate you guys. We can be here all day. We're best friends, but you guys
Yeah.
are busy and don't want our calls with us.
And then if we keep going, then we can't upload the video. Instagram
So our
or
bandwidth isn't good. I don't know what's going on, but it takes forever. We're
yeah,
not
guys,
good
we're
at this.
very tech savvy, and we also, as you can probably see with our camera quality, we don't have the best like camera or video, I don't know, accessories or camera, whatever it is. So I do apologize, but that's kind of why we also have to keep our video short.
Part
But that's
two coming up.
maybe next year we'll buy quality products, and we won't have this issue.
Yes.
We'll let you guys.
We'll see.
You'll see.
You'll see the big difference. Like, oh wow, you guys come a long way.
Alrighty, well, bye. Take care.
Bye. Thank you.